What is up, everybody? What is up? This is a huge breaking news live stream here because LSU just grabbed a long-awaited commitment, broke a huge, long-time losing streak at a certain high school in Louisiana by grabbing the commitment from five-star linebacker Tylen Singleton, keeping him in state. This was a player that we had heard was going to commit to LSU in the end because of our sources. We had some good sources in and around Singleton, and were providing us with information that was just saying that they made it happen on that final visit. There was a lot of great traction made right then and there this summer. The attraction was all about what Matt House is able to do with Tylen Singleton. And, the people that Tylen trusts were very impressed. Very, very impressed with everything that Matt House was saying about his development plan. Let me share this and spread this everywhere real quick. If everyone wants to jump in the comments section. This is just an awesome, big-time commitment that the 14th ranked overall 247 class for 2024 really needed. This 2024 class had kind of hit a lull, and this was definitely the signing of the summer. There were some big-time signings this summer, but Tylen Singleton, this is big time. I mean, it just continues LSU's fantastic positioning at the linebacker spot for the next however many years. Christian Braithwaite, I really like what he's doing. Of course, we have 2 more years left to Harold Perkins. We'll just say that first. But to then have such a long time group of stable of linebackers here coming up, just one by one, that are versatile, talented. Devon Keys is another one in that 2024 class that I'm a big fan of. So LSU might not have like a stack of depth at the linebacker spot, but they absolutely have some superstars. We'll put it that way. Tell me what you think about this signing, how excited you are, because I'm sure you're, like me right now, probably absolutely buzzing. As much as I'd heard he's going to commit before the season begins, I expected that to happen sometime in August. Didn't expect that to happen on July 22nd. Even though I'd heard, the visit went well, all this stuff was going on with Matt House. He was really loving what, the treatment he was receiving, the experience he was having, the connections he was making. I still expected this commitment to come in August. Still expected it to come in August. And by August, I mean like late August. So it just shows the great work LSU are doing with their recruiting staff. Once again. Still sharing this real quick and getting some funny messages. There's a few people who were debating with me about whether we were going to get Singleton. If you checked out our Tylen Singleton prediction piece, which we just put out, I believe in June last month, because we're feeling the vibes. If you saw that piece, we predicted he would, in the end, commit as an LSU Tiger. And here he is, and it's fantastic. This was a dude who was big-time feature of those Manny High title-winning teams. Even the team that, they got to another title game that they lost. But he was a big-time piece of those teams. why that isn't showing up there for me to share. Let me just do something real quick here. Send this here. You know, it was his former coach, Jess Curtis at Manny High, who is, really saying that LSU had really done due diligence with him and really made Tylen Singleton a big-time priority and stepped it up to the plate here. He's someone that we said in that preview prediction thing, like LSU have to get him on campus for a visit before the summer's over, or they have no chance here. Like, because then he'll be kind of left in an uncertain position. LSU made it certain by getting him on campus and pulling out all the stops during that visit. By all intents and purposes, like, they went and just obliterated any other team's chance in that visit. When I got a lot of good vibrations from some of the sources we have in and around the LSU program about that visit, all of the actions and photos and just posts we had seen from Tylen himself as well, just all of the indications we were getting, it seemed like, you know what, we don't think, we know at this point he's going to be a Tiger. But I did not think it would be this early. I thought there would still be some going back and forth, but apparently great recruiting from LSU to say, hey man, if you're ready to commit right now, if you know we're the team, why are you waiting? Let's just do this so then you can get back to playing football and go win a championship for Manny in your last year. Show them that you don't need Tackett Curtis. Show them that you don't need all these other players that were given more of the plaudits than he was to be successful. There's a lot of times that Tylen Singleton was not given a lot of the love that he should have, I thought. Big time news, big time news, big time freaking news, everybody. Big time news, people. I don't know how much this jumps LSU up the rankings. I don't really care. All I know is this makes me feel a lot more confident about their class. We'll say that. Makes me feel way more confident about LSU's class. Collage Cobbins, Ahmad Brow, Devon Keys, and now Tylen Singleton added to that mix. Jawan Johnson at corner. Let's not forget that. Joel Rogers just committed. It's Deshaun McBride as well. They've got a lot of awesome pieces here. There's a lot of superstar potential here defensively for this 2024 class. I'm not trying to, they're the next Harold Perkins. They're the next Mason Smith. I'm not trying to do that. That's stupid. What I'm trying to just say is they're stacking the talent at the positions they need to in the right manner. That's all I'm saying. And at linebacker, Tylen Singleton is an absolute freak. That is not hyperbole. That is not, going above and beyond to kiss ass or to make this look like the commitment of the century. No. This is just a very strong piece of work from LSU's recruiting team to make sure that they keep the best talents in the state of Louisiana who most of the time make up the NFL, keep them at LSU. What does that do? Not only does that strengthen LSU's depth, LSU's team, it also weakens the other teams around them in the SEC who have been hectoring, pecking LSU's talent pool in Louisiana for decades. And it's like a no mas, type of situation where it's just like that's not happening anymore. Fantastic. I mean, it's just another big time move by LSU's recruiting team under Brian Kelly. Another sign that it's like, okay, we can be in the high, like number 9, number 8, number 7 recruiting rankings every year. We don't care. Because every time you have always underrated guys like Jamar Chase, especially guys like Justin Jefferson, guys like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Just time after time, there have been guys who should have been 5 stars who were 3 stars. Emory Jones wasn't a 5-star. I mean, just that's a joke. Will Campbell, Harold Perkins, their 5 stars were taken away after they committed to LSU. Walker Howard's as well. It's just very funny. It's just very funny. This is what you have to do. You have to chip away at that talent in Louisiana, and then you cut off the legs from Nick Saban. Without that Louisiana talent, I mean, we haven't seen what Nick Saban would be able to do in college football without that Louisiana talent, haven't we? Oh, wait, we have at Michigan State, where he was absolutely annihilated by guys like Drew Brees and, who was LSU's quarterback at that time against when we played Michigan State? I'm trying to think. Let me look that up real quick. Independence Bowl, late 90s, 1995, yeah. Absolutely beat the shit out of Nick Saban. Right? Yeah. Herb Tyler. I thought Herb Tyler wasn't on the team yet. I thought Herb Tyler came in from in '96. My bad. Herb Tyler. That's so weird. The game was at Independence Stadium, Shreveport. Wow. That's unbelievable. Kevin Falk and Gabe Northern MVPs. That's funny. Yeah. I don't know why the hell I got onto that. Oh yeah, Saban and what Saban's able to do without Louisiana talent. 6-4-1, the Michigan State Spartans that season, and Louisiana guys like Kevin Falk, Eddie Kennison, born in Lake Charles, Gabe Northern, born in Marydale, guys like Herb Tyler, born in New Orleans, absolutely just milked and destroyed his teams. Goes to the NFL, goes to the Browns under Belichick, gets run out of there, and then, LSU hires him, and everyone does not give him a chance, but then he comes to find out, oh my God, I just got the perfect job from heaven. The perfect job. We might not win a championship in year 1. We might not win a championship in year 2. But with this talent around me in this state, I'm going to win one soon. And it's going to be sooner rather than later. There was a quiet confidence about Saban once he took over, and it's because he understood what was around him. These guys make up the NFL, damn it. And also, people want to say that quarterbacks don't come out of the state of Louisiana. Absolutely, you could not be more wrong. Let's go through the list. Quarterbacks born in the state of Louisiana: Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Terry Bradshaw, Cordell Stewart, Dak Prescott, just right there. You have how many Super Bowls? Just right there. We can just cut off right there. But then if you keep going through the list, it's just let's just look at the top 10 NFL players from Louisiana of all time right here. This list, okay? You've got Peyton Manning, Ed Reed, Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk was also from Louisiana. You've got to remember that. Marshall Faulk, as well as Kevin Faulk. I would say the two best collegiate running backs of the 90s, no question. What Kevin Faulk was doing at San Diego State was absolutely nuts. Should have won the Heisman. But then let's continue with the list. Terry Bradshaw, of course, we know what he did. Eli Manning, of course, supposed to be an underachiever, not supposed to be good. Sneaks 2 Super Bowls, more than his own brother, against Tom Brady's Patriots, by the way. Then you got Reggie freaking Wayne, one of Peyton Manning's 2 greatest targets alongside Marvin Harrison. Odell Beckham Jr. And how many of these guys, just right there from that list, were LSU able to keep in state at LSU? How many of those guys? Peyton Manning, Ed Reed, Marshall Faulk, Terry Bradshaw, Eli Manning, Reggie Wayne, OBJ. We only kept one of those guys in state. Only kept one of those guys. Now imagine, just pause for a second and just think about, had LSU been able to keep even just 5 of those guys in state. Now, I'm not saying keep everyone in state. Blah, blah, blah. That's not always going to happen. Guys are going to have all their reasons for leaving, whatever. People just want to get out of where they're from, what they're familiar with. They just want to go. Okay. But if LSU had even just kept 4 of those guys in state, can you even believe, can you fathom how many more titles this team, this legendary SEC powerhouse program could have? Think about it. Think about it. If you keep Reggie Wayne in state, you keep Ed Reed in state, you keep Marshall Faulk in state. You literally have Marshall Faulk's career bleeding into Kevin Faulk. You go from Marshall to Kevin Faulk as your running backs in the 90s. Are you serious? With Rondell Mealy and Cecil Collins in the background. And Rondell Mealy is in the top 10 all-time LSU rushing list, by the way. So, just the amount of talent that LSU could have kept in the state and were failing to do so. Even while, keeping most of it in the state, keeping this guy in the state, but just bleeding the biggest, the best. And then you see Jerry DiNardo and Kevin Faulk's arrival start to put a plug in there. Because before that, everyone was just going. And then it starts to DiNardo gets it back. Guys are staying. Guys are staying. We're still losing these big time guys. Some of one or two here. We're keeping this big time guy. Keeping this big. And then Saban comes in, and he starts a revolution. One that Les Miles, for the most part, is able to continue, even as brutish as he was. Yeah, look at this. People are just naming more quarterbacks. Jake Delhomme, Stan Humphries. Chris Scott says Tylen is physical as hell, my kind of linebacker. Absolutely. He made a lot of game-changing plays for Manny. A lot of game-changing plays for Manny. Let me look up his stats. I know we put it on our preview and profile on him, our prediction thing. Okay, this is it right here on LSUODYSSEY.com. Can you see that? Or is it doing weird shit? Okay. June 1st is when we put this out. He's been a part of all three of Manny High's 3 straight trips to the title game. Won 2 of those. And just, he was constantly someone that everyone thought LSU were going to miss out. 75 tackles, 4 TFLs, 4 interceptions, plus 1 official sack. That was during his sophomore season. But, my larger point, bringing up all those guys from the 90s and the talents that LSU missed out on, because I really want to finish that part. Now look at what Brian Kelly can do right now. If Brian Kelly can just, at the bare minimum, keep the best players from Louisiana in state at LSU, he has a chance, in my opinion, to win a national championship 1 in every 3 years. At the least. 1 in every 3 years. If you just keep the best in the state of Louisiana at LSU. Because statistically, that has been proven. That is not an assumption. That is not, some wild, hyperbolic thing to say. That has been proven by LSU winning the second most national titles of any program in the last 20 plus years in the 21st century, we'll just say, outside of Alabama. And I'll remind you, we lost a title game to Alabama as well. So that would have been a 4th championship for LSU right there. Or sorry, 58, 2003, 2007, 2019. 5th. God, what am I thinking? 5th. So we could have had a 5th title game right in there as well. 4 in the 21st century alone. So we got 3 official. Could have had that 4th in 2011. People forget that. We've been to a title game as well. But, it's just LSU don't lose title games. We don't lose national championship games. We don't lose finals. That's not what we do. Either we have a piss poor season or we win it all, right? I mean, there were some BCS bowl games here or there. But, look at Les Miles' career. He went to, 1 BCS bowl outside of the 2 national title games he took us to. It was either all or nothing with Les Miles. So now, when I see Brian Kelly going back to that tradition that Saban understood of keeping the best talents in the state of Louisiana, I see nothing but greatness coming ahead, especially when you combine that with what we've done in the transfer portal, the way we've been able to strengthen the team, at least in the first season with the transfer portal, and bring in, double-digit transfers again that were high quality for the second straight season to plug holes that absolutely needed it. We didn't just like sit on our laurels and, oh well, we'll count on that freshman or that guy to do it, or that sophomore to do it, or this guy who's unproven to do it. He went out and got proven commodities to make sure we had someone who could do the job. You combine those two elements, recruiting at a high level in the state of Louisiana, at an elite level in the state of Louisiana, better than anyone else, because that's what we have to do, because everyone's gunning for our talent. You combine that with being the premier transfer destination in college athletics, not just college football. You saw what Paul Skeens did. You saw what Angel was able to do. You saw, Van Lith coming as well. I mean, it's the best want to go to LSU. The best want to go to. You don't see Alabama being this premier transfer destination. As many transfers as they've gotten, it's always about the prestige of playing for Nick Saban and the fact that you're probably going to be in a title game. But at LSU, it's about writing your own story, creating your own mythology, and that's something that Brian Kelly he knows how to sell it. Because you don't have to sell LSU, you sell the experience that you're going to provide while that young man, that young woman is at LSU. And in that, they were able to secure Tylen Singleton's commitment, someone that LSU, a lot of people covering recruiting predicted LSU would have no chance keeping him in state. No chance. So many, no chance, right? And for a long time, I was even wondering, can LSU keep Tylen Singleton? But as I said before, we always kept our nose to the ground on the goings-on with Tylen Singleton due to our relationship with someone close to him, that is his former coach at Manny High, the amazing Jess Curtis. And it always seemed like Tylen was more into going to LSU than someone like Tackett Curtis was. You could feel those vibes. And then you couple that with the amazing pedigree of a guy like Matt House. A Super Bowl ring and a Super Bowl appearance after that as well. He knows what to do with the best talents. Look at what Harold Perkins did in his first season. Look at how that defense played in the first season under Matt House. I mean, we were lucky just to keep House at LSU. That's how good House is. You see a dude like that, you had a good feeling that LSU could keep Tylen Singleton in state. At least I did. A lot of people were iffy on it. We predicted that he would stay in state. That's what happened. Huge, huge commitment from Brian Kelly and company. Sherman Wilson, he had a big deal to do with this. Frank Wilson, he probably had something to do with this as well. But Matt House, I think, is the main attraction. That's what I've been told. He's the main attraction for this commitment. You might as well just call it a signing, because I don't think he's going to be decommitting or flipping anywhere unless there's changes on the coaching staff, which is why you've got to keep Matt House for at least 2 more seasons. Is that possible? Can LSU keep Matt House on staff for 2 more seasons? That might be more difficult than achieving, back-to-back top 5 classes. I think that's more doable than keeping Matt House. I think Matt House has a lot of job offers out there. Just sharing this real quick. This is a very versatile talent. This is a very versatile, someone who could be a safety or linebacker, really, or both. You could play him in this kind of hybrid position, and that's where he got interested. Was when Matt House was like, "Hey, I understand how to put guys in these hybrid positions and how to get them to succeed." Everybody, thank you so much. We'll be having more on this later.